All right, so welcome, and let's start with the superpower, getting into your superpower state. So take a deep breath, close your eyes, or leave them open if you prefer, whichever, and get into your superpower state however you normally do that. So either by repeating your word or phrase, or by imagining hugging your subject. And feel your heart opening. Feel that expansive feeling in your heart. And imagine that ball of light or energy and allow it to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy. And allow that light or energy to fill each cell of your body. Love each cell just for existing. Now imagine the little you, yourself as a child, and allow that light or energy to fill that little you from the tips of the toes to the top of the head, out to the fingertips. Love that child just for existing, no matter what. And now allow that light or energy to overflow from that little you and fill the whole room they're in, or the space they're in. See that light shining brightly from that little child. And now allow that light, that energy to fill your whole childhood. Whatever's there, shine that light into any darkness. Love it all anyway. Very good job. And now allow that light or energy to fill everyone who's on the call today. Fill everyone with that light, that energy, from the tips of their toes to the top of their head, out to their fingertips. Love each person just for existing. And feel your heart opening even more to receive that love from everybody. Very good. Good job. All right, you can open your eyes if you've got them closed. And before we go around and check how everybody's doing, I wanted to share something today that I've mentioned this before, but I feel it's worth mentioning again. It's worth a reminder, is that the phrase, now that I know that I love myself, I cannot create anything bad. Now that I know that I love myself, no matter how bad it looks, it has to turn out to be either good or nothing to worry about. And I wanted to give an example from one of the books I wrote called Beyond the Magic Pill. And it is that, I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you've been in the dark, perhaps in your bedroom in the dark, and then you see something that looks like a person, and you go, who's that? And for a moment there, it can't be anything else. It must be a person standing there. And then you switch on the light, or perhaps you see it more clearly and you realize it's just a lamp, or it's just a gown on the door, something like that. So, but before you saw that, you couldn't imagine it was anything else. That's what problems are now. So when something looks bad, it looks terrible, it looks like it's scary, or it can't turn out to be good, know that as long as you maintain your state, it'll only be bad if you fight with it, all right, if you wrestle with it. But if you maintain that state of unconditional love, keeping yourself filled with it, and you aim it at whatever the issue is, as convincing as it seems, it has to turn out to be either good or nothing to worry about. So just keep reminding yourself of that, and that will help immensely. Another analogy that I've used in the past is if you're in the sea and you are, floating around, if the water gets rough, if you start flailing and fighting it, then it gets gets more and more turmoil. Whereas if you float, then eventually you'll come to calm waters. And this is the same. Any issues that come up, any challenges, the more you fight with them, the more you engage with them and struggle and resist, the more turmoil. So it's important to just try and relax and coast until it passes, until it turns out, until you can see more clearly. So I hope that helps everyone. All right, so let's check in with everybody. So Tina, how are you today?
Morning. I'm good.
Morning. Good.
This what you just said is amazing, because this is how I feel when I feel fear. It's like you exactly say with this example. And then when I figure out later on, it's like it was nothing to worry. Why I was scared or in that stress or depressed, and is everything okay and it's gonna be better and whatever. So this example was amazing what you just said. I experienced this many times in my life. Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear it's useful, Tina. Good job.
Another thing is I wanted to ask you, because I have this book, Metaphysical Anatomy, this one, huge one.
Oh, yes.
And I always go there and see for the illness or whatever, what emotions are there. And today I just go to different page, which I never go. And the page is says is quick reference guide.
Yeah.
So I have on my right arm pain, from, I don't know, 3 weeks already. And I'm not working. I don't know what I did. And all the time is pain, so much pain. And here is the arm. And I was shocked when I read this today. And this says, fear of being powerful and reclaiming your own personal power and identity. And I was thinking oh my God, really? And I start to feel the same feeling like before, that something is, I want to go more forward, and something is holding me back. Like when you want to run and somebody is holding your back and you cannot run, you just stop. The same feeling. And in the other time, I was having the same feeling, like I am afraid to be loved. The same feeling, I want to go and I can't. It's like stopping me. And always the same feeling I have, stopping me from doing anything, even this. Because now I am doing the superpower I'm practicing. I never thought until I read this, and this could be maybe my subconscious is holding me. I cannot move forward.
Absolutely. That's a great example, a very good example. Thank you. And so the answer is to love it. The answer is, here's what you do. So I've had that experience before. And the answer is to think, whatever it is that's holding me back, I love you. Whatever you are, I love you. Whatever reference is there, whatever it is, the part of me that's holding me back, I love you. And imagine hugging it. And that will, because again, if you're wrestling something, if you're struggling against it, resisting it, that keeps that resistance going. It keeps that kind of engagement going. Whereas when you love something, it takes the out of it.
Yes, but I didn't even have idea about it. I never thought until I read this and I start to think and I start to have that feeling.
Yes. It makes perfect sense.
Wow.
Good job.
Okay.
And how do you feel about it?
Pardon me?
How do you feel about that?
Right now?
Knowing that, yeah.
A little bit relief,
That's good.
So is this gonna be one day I'm going to be free to do whatever I want, because it's like,
Of course.
it's like whatever I want to do, I can't. And
Of
so
course.
just send love constantly, even for whatever, until I get free.
Exactly, exactly. And, you know, when I say of course, I'm saying it from my own experience. So I was more stuck than I can explain. I mean, the stuckness was ridiculous. And, you know, to the point where I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. What? Tell me what to do and I'll do it. You know, I was just so frustrated.
Yeah, I understand. Like, tell me what to do, I will do. Like anybody, just tell me.
That was where I was. And so I can tell you that from there to here was two main things. Number one, the superpower, doing it all the time and becoming a master at it, and making that a priority, loving everything regardless. And number two, changing the childhood memories and practicing the new ones. That's what got me from there to here. And I no longer have that stuckness.
Okay.
So I can tell you with certainty that
yes, when I'm changing the childhood, when I'm going more closer, like now I am when my mom was born, because it's taking me for a while. Okay. So I'm losing the feelings. I don't feel that love, that support like before, when I was working on my great grandparents, when my grandma was born.
Yes.
So what is this?
Well, so when you try to feel the feelings, what's happening? So where are you up? So you say when your mum was born. So
yes,
is that like when she's born, the feelings start going, or is it somewhere around there?
No, it's like when she's born and they love her and all that stuff. So I don't feel that feeling, that love, that's.
So what do you feel instead, or what thoughts?
Nothing. It's just I see their picture and that's it.
Okay, and that's okay. So what you do there is you get into your superpower state, and then you aim love at it. You aim love at you aim love at the fact that you can't feel the love, or you can't feel the feelings, and you aim love at just the pictures, whatever you can see. Just aim that your superpower at it and love it all anyway. And that will probably start to. And if that doesn't work, you may need to do another due justice.
Okay.
All right. So you could give that a go.
So I go to superpower, I go to change memories, and whatever is there, I go to superpower, I send the love, and back and forth, back and forth.
That's exactly.
Until I build the changing whole stuff.
Right. Until you're able to change it. Yeah. And doing it that way is so much quicker. Then it doesn't take as long to change a memory. It can go very, very quickly.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Good job. You're very welcome. And over to Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl. How are you today?
Hi. So I'm so much better. I wanted to share that the memory that was upsetting to me was that when I was a young girl, my father told us that I had a half brother, which I didn't know about, you know, my whole life. And so we were kind of surprised that he had been married before. And I was very excited to meet him. I wrote him many, many letters. I wrote about him in my diary, how excited I was to meet him. And he sexually assaulted me. And this is the first time I've ever been able to say it out loud and still feel in control of myself. So that's because of all of you. I feel safe. You guys made me feel so supported yesterday. I can't even tell you how much love I felt coming from all of you. So I want to thank you for that. And then last night, I was trying to recreate the memory. So I kept thinking of my dog. So instead of him, it was my dog. My dog was, you know, coming up on top of me, and she was licking. And I just worked on it, recreating it over and over last night. And that really helped. But I really can't tell you how powerful and important it was to me yesterday for all of you guys to be there for me. It meant so much. I'll never forget it. And I love you all. So thank you so much.
Ah, you're very, very welcome, Cheryl. I am so proud of you, and I'm so glad that we all had that opportunity to help you. And that's fantastic. And well done for the change in the memory with your dog. I'm going to challenge you to level that up just a little bit. And I want you to imagine that he is the one who gave you the dog. Okay, so instead of what happened, he turned up and he gave you this dog as a present.
Okay.
All right. And the reason for that, for everybody else as well, is you want to make sure that that you don't leave any data. So changing the memory is great. That's good. But somewhere else in your brain, your subconscious has a reference about him. So you want to change any people to the opposite, positive and empowering as well, and kind and compassionate and safe. And sometimes you may find you have to redo their childhoods, because the truth is, if he had had a different childhood, he would have been a different person, which means he was. So that's not an excuse by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just cause and effect. That's, if he'd been treated differently as a child, he would have been a different person. And so that's the answer to give your conscious mind, and then allow your subconscious to create something wonderful from that one as well. So you can think of these people as well, and everybody in your life, as characters in a story. And so you can change the characters, if that helps as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and the thing about, I don't know why there's tears coming out of my eyes right now, because I don't feel sad, but must be some residual. But yeah, I mean, he didn't have a dad around, because my dad, had him and just didn't ever see him. So that wasn't probably very nice for him. So I see what you're saying, and I'm gonna work on it.
Good, very good. And I just want to really make the point I know this doesn't necessarily apply to you, but for anybody watching, is that the conscious mind. So somebody asked this question actually on one of our YouTube videos. Is it, can I change the memory? Like, well, if that hadn't happened, then I wouldn't have something positive. In other words, saying, well, looking at the good side of it, or looking at so in this case, it could be, well, this person went through trauma, whatever. So therefore I understand why they did it. That's not good enough. And the reason it's not good enough, it's nice, but it's not good enough because that's the conscious mind. The conscious mind is able to come up with reasons and to see, understand, and justify, and that kind of thing. The subconscious cannot do that, and it only goes according to the programming from the experiences. So you can do that as well, or you can start with that if you like, but what you want to end up with is that person is a completely different person. And I know you've probably got that, Cheryl. I just thought I'd share that for.
No, I like that. That's good. All right, thank you.
I'd like to add a couple of other little bits to this as well. Just kind of general information for everybody, because I finished up the editing of yesterday's video, and I did put it in that, but I also want to just say it out loud again for the group and for anybody else that's listening, that we would recommend, if you're working on traumatic childhood memories, that you do that work with a practitioner to do that. It's oftentimes very sticky, a little delicate, and it's too easy to get way into the emotion of that. So I'm saying that as a general note to everybody. If you're working on general childhood memories, you're changing up, parents and things like that, that's fine. But if you're doing something traumatic, have somebody that you're working with. The second thing that I would like to say is thank you, Cheryl, for your vulnerability in doing that. The other thing that I want to point out is that as you and Odille were working, that there was essentially no content. Had you not told us what the memory was today, none of us would know any of that information. And you were able to transform that memory even without either one of us or anybody else having any idea what was going on, because it's all it was all being held and transformed in your mind. So thank you for sharing that, being vulnerable, because I think that that was just a really powerful example of how the method works and how quickly the method can work.
Yeah, and it was important for me to share it with you because I've only ever shared it with my husband and a counselor. And because I always thought it was my fault, or I felt ashamed, or I felt guilty, and I don't feel any of those things. And all of you made me feel so loved and supported yesterday. And so I just felt like I could say it to you and feel okay about it, that it's.
And now having transformed that, you're no longer victimized by the memory of it. You're in the place of being empowered by that, and you're no longer controlled by it. So yay you.
Thank you.
Yes, good job, Cheryl. And thank you again for sharing. Because also there'll be others, perhaps even on the call, but certainly watching the recording, who have had similar experiences and who it will help them as well. So thank you.
Thank you guys, all of you.
You're welcome. All right. And Katrina. Hi, Katrina. How are you today?
Hi, Odille. Yes, I decided to allow myself to be happy today.
Good. Very good.
Decision, yeah. Okay, so something else of interest has come up for me, and I thought the work was all done, but it's not.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the question is, where do I go to get enlightened? And then I'll say the 4 lines. The word work always seems to disempower me. Goes back to watching old romantic films. I thought this was how my life should be. My friends got this lifestyle, but not me. Why was I not special? And why not me?
Yes. Very good. And
Enlighten me, Odille.
okay. I wasn't sure if you'd got the answer already and you were just...
No, I have not.
So why not you? So I don't know a lot about you. I only know a little bit of what you've shared here, from your childhood, I mean. But I seem to remember that you had brothers and you were the only girl.
Yes.
I'm assuming that the boys got to do stuff that you didn't get to do.
Yes.
So anything there in your childhood of why can't I have that or do that or have that freedom or whatever it is that they were given or allowed to do?
Well, the only memory was I had to stay in and do the housework, and they were allowed to go.
That'll do it.
That's it.
For a child, of course. Well, for anybody, you know, I wouldn't like to have to stay in and do housework while other people go and have fun. Absolutely. That'll be a big one. That'll be a big one. Did you enjoy doing the housework?
No.
Now, if it was something you wanted to do, of course, that would be fine. But if they didn't have to do it and you had to do it and they were having fun somewhere or doing something else, that'll be huge. So what you want to do is change that so that you never had to do the housework. In fact, the boys had to do the housework while you were playing with your friends. You would go out with your friends, you would do whatever you would love to have done, and everyone else was doing the house. You never had to do any housework.
Okay, but I'm lost.
Either that, or the other option is that other people did the housework and you went out with your brothers and you all did something fun. So tell me what's making you feel lost? Where are you lost?
I'm lost in the romantic film and the man coming into my life and looking after me.
Yeah.
What's that got to do with me? You know, I can't get the connection to housework.
So everything, so the way this works is, how do I know it's a problem? Well, because I don't have the life that I wanted, right? The romantic with the man and all of that. So how does that feel? Well, all my friends have it, and why can't I have it? So there's that feeling of they have something and why can't I? And now you look into your childhood, because remember that whatever you're experiencing as an adult, the reference is in your childhood. So your subconscious is keeping you in alignment with that experience that you experienced as a child for presumably several years, of they are allowed to do something and I'm not. Why do I have to, why can't I have what they have? So now the way it's doing now, it could be money, it could be health, it could be relationships, it happens to be this romantic life. So the subconscious will always find a way of recreating the same feelings with a different cast, different set, different story, but it'll be the same feelings. Does that help to explain it?
So it's as simple as me, they're doing the dishes and I'm out playing. Are you saying that's as simple as that?
Well, to start with, it's a good start. So here's the thing, make sure that the feeling is the opposite and positive and empowering. So make sure that that little you, however you arrange those memories, whatever scenarios you create, the feeling that little Katrina has is, I'm special, I get to have stuff. I get to have what I want. And whether that's I get to have what I want and others don't, or we all get to have what we want, or both of those, you can create different memories to illustrate both of those new facts. Because then, but the reason I said it's a good start is because there may be other references as well. So, you know, unfortunately, it's never as simple as there's one memory we change and our lives change, because of course there's a lot more there. But as we change them, the subconscious automatically changes others that we don't even know are there, which is great. And then we change any others that come up that we consciously remember. So I would say that would be a very good start, and see what else comes up and change that as well. So you want to end up with your whole childhood, you got whatever you wanted.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, bedazzled, but anyway.
Yes. Yes. And so this is why, you know, when we say, where in your childhood did you feel that same feeling? It may be a different topic, but it will be the same feeling. That's why I always make a point of saying that, because very, very, very often it's a completely different topic, but it's if it's the same feeling, it's one of the references that's supporting whatever you're experiencing now. That's proving whatever you're experiencing now.
So it's where I didn't feel special. That's the main, that's the...
It didn't feel special. And in addition to that, not only not feeling special, but you were the one that had to work while the others were having fun. That, for anybody, and especially a child, that's huge. So if you think back to those times, I'm sure you can start to remember that feeling of having to do housework while the boys were doing whatever they were doing.
So that's actually where this resentment,
yes,
comes from.
Exactly. It makes perfect sense. And you were quite right to resent it. It wasn't fair, not at all fair. So you can change it. And if you need to, you can write, of course, do a due justice about it, do a due justice letter about it, because there may be under the surface still quite a bit of resentment and anger and frustration there, and perfectly justified.
That's unreal.
So the resentment that was what you felt as a little girl, that became it became a normal feeling. It became the background that everything else got painted on. You got used to living in that resentment. And eventually things started to change, but your subconscious saw that as a normal place to be. So it went about going, well, let's find another way. Let's find a new dance partner in order to create that feeling of resentment in my life. So it could be a physical dance partner, it could be another person, or it could be a job, or it could be your health, or it could be your finances that allows you to feel that sense of resentment. And my guess is as you go and back and start to change the stuff in your early childhood, as you progress forward, you'll see that pattern of resentment extending all the way to the present.
Including, could I add, that's just occurred to me, looks. That feeling of what, they're prettier than me, why can't I be? You remember when we were looking for that? This is probably a foundation reference for that. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm away here. Thank you.
Good job. You're very welcome. All right. And Lisa. Hi, Lisa. I've tried to unmute you. I think you have to unmute yourself. There you
Yay.
go.
Oh, very good. I love listening to the call. I'm so grateful I'm here, and you guys are amazing. I love you so much.
We love you too.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you so much for including my son. I'm very grateful.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
I know he feels it. So
good. Yay.
Yeah.
And Lisa, do you have any questions or anything for today?
No, I'm good. I'm just sending lots of love to everybody on the call.
Very good. And it's coming right back to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, love. All right. And then Wanda. Hi, Wanda.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good. I'm listening. I'm going to put the squirrel for a little bit on the side today.
Okay.
But I was listening to Katrina saying, and I identify with that.
Yes.
Because culturally, from where I come from, the women have to do all the housework.
Yeah.
Where the male just sit around, they get the best treatment. And we have to do the cleaning, the cooking, the washing the clothes. We didn't have washing machines, so we have to do it by hand. We didn't have dishwasher, so we have to do it by hand. Everything, all the women have to do it.
That's it, yeah.
So being the youngest, I have my little responsibility, but my sister has the most work.
Right.
And I was, all my life, I've been trying to defend my sisters and my mom for doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm resentful as well. Like, why do I need to wash the dishes? There's 3 people live in this house. We all need to wash the dishes.
Yeah.
So I cannot identify 100% with Katrina.
Good.
So I have to work on that. Now I see that where it's coming from.
Yes.
Same. Wow.
Perfect. Well done. And you know what? You guys are not alone. This is such a prevalent, I know I've worked with several clients that have had that, where the girl, especially when they were the only girl, they had to do what everybody else was enjoying themselves. And the same, yes. So with you, it's got that extra thing where it's protecting your or defending your mum and your sisters as well. Mm-hmm. There's so many layers and nuances. So yes, that's wonderful. I am so glad to hear that it's helpful. Yeah. Well, very good.
Have to work on that. And one more thing.
Yes.
I haven't requested again about the pain. So I just noticed today, like, oh, I haven't requested that again. So I don't feel the pain. Because I have pain all over the place. So it's kind of like diminishing.
Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's fantastic. So we'll add it to today's
yes.
Fantastic. Yay. Thank you, Wanda, and thank you for sharing.
Okay.
All right. And Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hi. Hey. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you? Lovely to have you back.
Yes, thank you. I'm good. I can relate to the other gals as far, well, not the ones that shared. I had to do all the housework. I was the only daughter, and then I had one brother, and he got to do the outside work, but I always had to do the inside work, and I always had to clean his room, or, you know, he was kind of messy, so I had to take care of that. So I became a mother very young. So that was great, a reminder of the resentment that we hold. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I wanted to share some great news. We talked earlier in the call. I missed the first portion, but I caught the tail end where you said, when we fear something and just this build up to it, the last couple of weeks I've had this intense fear and this worry and anxiety over ending my position of 8 years. And Tuesday, I just felt the fear so much. In the morning, I hit send on my email. My boss said, oh, I have some time at 1, which was an hour later. I went to eat my lunch. I came back. The conversation went so well because he said, I'm so glad you brought this up because business is really slow right now. I know you've appreciated your job the last 8 years, but I'm finally supported. The universe is supporting me on the outside, and my last day will be Friday, and I'm finishing up a few projects. But it's like, it was the first time that I stood up for staying in something that doesn't work for me anymore, because I hold on to things that don't work for me anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic, Amy.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I am so happy to hear that. And I know
Yes.
you were referring to the what we were saying earlier about even when something looks like it's going to be wrong, or it's
Right.
scary, or whatever it looks like, it will have to turn out to be either good or nothing to worry about. A perfect example of that.
Yes, definitely. And I realized, wow, all that fear, all that buildup, I thought, and all the things I was imagining didn't even turn out that way.
Right.
And so, you know, it'll be a great lesson for next time. And then I also realized, I went for a walk after that later in the day, and I saw this beautiful tree, and I took a photo, and it was like the sun was shining down, and it looks like the North Star came through the tree. And in that moment, when we talk about the superpower or the unconditional love, I just felt this unconditional love for different things, you know, whether it was my boss, or, you know, it was just this moment, and that was really profound. And so yeah, that was a big thing after that. And then I realized this is the first time in my life I haven't spoken to my parents in probably a few months. I still have to do those due justice letters, I know, but they don't know that I ended my job. They don't know, but I don't feel like I need a backup plan. I don't feel like they need to know what's going on to be okay. So it was, yeah, it was really neat.
Very good. That's so much progress. Yes. I am so proud of you, Amy.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing it and for being such a lovely, shiny example.
Thank you. And the intention I'd like for today would be to focus on allergy response in my body. Yeah, after all this, I kind of feel this drain of energy in my body and this allergy response. So I'd like intention on that.
All right. And what that probably is the after effects of the stress chemicals.
Yes, lots of stress
now
chemicals.
The stress chemicals are coming down, your body's recovering.
Yes, I don't feel this constant anxiety the last couple of days. So
yeah. And so that's the effects of that. So in addition to loving it, and we'll put it on the list for today, in addition to that, make sure that you're drinking lots of water.
Yes.
Than you think you need.
Okay, got it.
Extra sleep and good
nutrition. Awesome.
All right, good
Thank
job.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, and Carrie. Hey, Carrie.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Do you have any targets for today or questions?
I guess a target would be my daughter again.
Okay.
Her appetite is very low.
Okay. And tell me, while I've got you here, what's wrong with her appetite being low? Why is that a problem?
Well, because I don't want her to waste away.
Okay. And is the food that she is eating healthy? Is it good food? It's not like chips and...
No. It's mostly the carbohydrates.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a little bit of, I'm not a nutritionist, so don't take anything but I have helped, I did do parenting counseling for a little while, just helping parents. And so I'm going to give you a couple of tips that will help in addition to sending the love. Okay. So the first thing is that make sure that the food that is in the house is what you want her to eat, so healthy stuff. The second thing is, what I always advise is never ask a child if they would like a piece of fruit or a vegetable. Never ask, just give it to them. But here's the trick. Cut it up into small pieces, and while they're doing something else, while they're watching TV or playing a game or reading or whatever else they're doing, just put the bowl next to them without saying anything. Just put this little bowl of nice looking little pieces of fruit or vegetables or whatever it is you want to, and just leave it there for them. Don't say eat it, don't talk to them about it, just put it there and then go away and just see. And they may eat it, they may not. If they don't eat it, that's okay. Don't say anything, just clear it away. So that's the second bit. The third bit is, and I don't know if you're able to do this, but if you are able to do any container gardening, or let them do container gardening rather. So a little pot where you grow just some sort of vegetable. So I don't know, chives are pretty easy to grow. They grow like wild practically, or anything like that. And then let them tend it, let them water it and look after it and all of that until it grows. And once it's grown, let them pick it and let them prepare it. Now, whether they don't expect them to eat it, you say, I would like to eat this. Will you prepare? I would like to eat some of your vegetables. Would you mind if I have some of your vegetables? And then let them prepare it for you. And I guarantee she won't be able to resist eating it herself. She's grown it and she's prepared. Yes. Yeah. It's sneaky, but it works. It works really, really, really well. So then it's coming from her. She wants to, and you're not trying to make her. So it's not that clash. It's not that battle of wills. Does that help?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And Wanda has something to add?
Yes, I have a suggestion. There's a recipe book called The Sneaky Chef, where you will put ingredients that you want them to eat in something that they already eat. So if they like to eat muffin, you will put in the muffin carrots and sweet potato within the muffin, and they don't know it's there. So
that's also
The Sneaky Chef. Yeah.
Very good. All right. So thank you, Wanda, for sharing that. And yeah, and the main thing is to do it casually, put the thing down next to them when they're doing something else. So it's not bringing their focus to that battle of wills, or it's not bringing their focus to the fact that they don't like it or anything like that. It's kind of casual and there's no point being made. And then what usually happens, so we did this with my son, and actually it was my ex-husband's, his father's idea, was he cut up pieces of apple into little pieces and just put it next to him while he was watching TV. And, automatically the child just goes and just eats it without really realizing they're doing it, because it's the only thing there and they're not focused on it. All right. So I hope that helps. And if they get stroppy, if they go, I don't like this, you can go, oh, yes, sorry, and just take it away. So that it doesn't become this, well, you must, and, again, you're not engaging it, you're not arm wrestling with it.
Yeah, good idea. Thank you very much.
Good.
And thank you for everyone who put something in the chat.
Very good. You're very welcome. All right. Fantastic. And then I gotta think which it was. I think it was Kara. Kara. Yes, I'm gonna unmute you. Hi, Kara. Hello. I think Kara said she has audio and she wants to share, but she may be taking her dog out or something. So Steve, would you mind sending Kara a message just asking, just letting her know she can unmute herself at any time to let us know when she's ready. And Chris, hi Chris, welcome. She says, hello all, I'm out with baby and managed to join you briefly at the beginning. Very good. I liked what you said, what you just said about coasting. It was what I needed to hear. Good, I'm glad. Chris says, oh, that's about the photo. Christine, it's Christina. Oh, was that? Oh, no, somebody moved. I mean, the pictures shuffled on the screen. Lots of love for Cheryl, lots of love and support for Cheryl. Somebody says, thank you, Cheryl, for speaking up around being molested by your brother. It's exactly what happened to me, but you had the guts to speak up, and I haven't. I'm supporting you from afar. So yes, and there is absolutely, it was wonderful that Cheryl shared, and we really appreciate it in that, but there is no reason for anyone to share anything they don't want to share, and it doesn't make you any less brave or less valuable and all of that. So the value, everybody's value, although we appreciate people in that, the value comes from inside you. And so I know that there may be others as well, because so sexual abuse is a huge amount more prevalent than we think. There's a lot more of it than we realize. So any sexual abuse as a child, you are definitely not alone, and you are definitely not even in a minimum amount of people. It's very prevalent. And so the most important thing is to validate yourself and go, I don't, nobody's expecting anything of me. It's not that I should speak out. It's not that I should do anything at all, other than, of course, look after yourself and change those memories for yourself. So good job. And so lots of support and love for Cheryl. Oh, Steve has a suggestion for Katrina. See that little you wearing the special princess dress and everyone treating you like the special ones. Very good point. Fantastic. Katrina looks lovelier and lovelier every day. Yes, I think so too. And yes, and others are saying the same. Very good. Wanda, I think of you and smile every time I see a squirrel. Me too. When I took a walk yesterday, every time and we have them just outside our doors here, every time I see a squirrel, I think of you. That's just, somebody else says, Elisa says yes as well. It makes me happy and I get into the love state because of our sessions. Very good. And lots of congratulations and love for Amy. Amy, I love that you're confident with your decision and are not inviting your parents to judge your decision. Yes, I second that. Good job, Amy. Agree with Odille 100%. Children can be taught to choose healthy foods. What's important is that they control what goes into their body. Agreed. Very much, very important. Okay, no. Cara says she doesn't have audio. Okay. Caro, personally, I've never forced my daughter to eat anything and she eats really well. I think the more we want them to eat, the worse it gets. I try to have only healthy stuff and I hide the sweets and chocolates so that she doesn't have them every day. She eats a lot of fruits and dried fruits and smoothies and stuff. Very good. Okay, and Steve, can you add a new target to the list, please? Itchy skin. And that message was sent to me privately, so I'm assuming not to say the name, but if you want your name said, you can just let me know. All right, so I think that's everyone, right? If I've missed anything or anyone, please let me know. Okay, so let's get on with the targeting. So everyone take a deep breath. and go into your superpower state, either by saying your name or phrase, or by imagining hugging your subject. And feel your heart opening and expanding. And that light shining brightly. And allow that light now, that energy, to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy. And fill each of the cells of your body with that same light or energy. Love each cell just for existing. Very good. Now think of the little you and fill that little you with that same light, that energy. From the tips of their toes to the top of their head and out to their fingertips. Love that child just for existing. And allow that power to shine out from that child, from the little you, and fill your whole childhood, shining that light into any darkness, loving it all anyway. And now think of your subject. Fill your subject with that light or energy. Love them just for existing. And now imagine they're trying to get away from you, rejecting you, or they're in a bad mood, or they're miserable, whatever it is, and keep them filled with that light, that energy anyway. Love them anyway. Very good. And think about the fact that now that you have this power, now that you have this ability, now that you are filled with this power, this light, this energy, this love, you cannot create anything bad for yourself. No matter what happens, it has to turn out to be good or nothing to worry about. No matter how bad it looks, it cannot, it's just a lamp or a robe in the darkness. It has to turn out to be good or nothing to worry about. And let's go over to Tina. Fill Tina with that light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Tina just for existing. Very good. And let's think of anything that Tina's worried about. Let's fill all of that with light, that energy, that power. Love it all anyway, shining the light into the darkness. Everything in Tina's life flooded with that beautiful light. Very good. And now to Cheryl. Fill Cheryl with that same light, that love, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. So she's now full of that light, that energy, that love. Love Cheryl just for existing. And allow that light or energy to overflow from Cheryl and fill everything and everyone in her life with that same light, that energy, that power. Love everything just for existing. Good job. And now to Katrina. Fill Katrina with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. Love Katrina just for existing. And now allow that light or energy to overflow from Katrina and fill any resentment, any and all resentment, and her whole childhood and everyone in it with this light, this energy, shining the light into the darkness. Love it all anyway. Very good. And now to Lisa. Fill Lisa with that same light, that energy. Love Lisa just for existing. Filling her with that power from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. And now imagine that light or energy overflowing from Lisa and filling her son from the tips of his toes to the top of his head and out to his fingertips. Love Lisa's son just for existing. Very, very good. And now to Amy. Fill Amy with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Amy just for existing. And now allow that light or energy to fill any allergic responses. So any symptoms of allergies for Amy, fill it all with love, light and energy. Love those symptoms exactly as they are, even if they never change, shining that light into the darkness. Love it all anyway. Love every cell of Amy's body, regardless of what it's doing, and her immune system. Very good. And now over to Wanda. Fill Wanda with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. Love Wanda just for existing. And now the Wanda's pain, wherever that pain is, shine that light into the darkness. Love it all anyway. Fill the pain with that light, that energy, that love. Whatever it is and whatever's causing it, wherever it's coming from, love it all anyway. Very good. And the resentment, fill the resentment with love and light, that power. And we might as well include the squirrels. Fill the squirrels with light and energy. Whether they dig up the garden or not, love them all exactly as they are, shining that light into the darkness. Very good. And now to Carrie. Fill Carrie with that same light, that energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. Love Carrie just for existing. And allow that light or energy to overflow from Carrie and fill her daughter Sarah with that same light, that energy. Love Sarah just for existing exactly as she is, whether she eats or she doesn't, No matter what she eats, love her anyway, exactly as she is, shining that light into any darkness. And now to the person with the itchy skin, fill that person from the tips of their toes to the top of their head and out to their fingertips with that same light, that energy. Love them just for existing. And allow that light or energy to fill every cell of their skin. Whether it's itchy or not, love it all anyway, shining that light. Feeling that power. Very good. And anyone else who's struggling to feel the superpower state, feel that with the same light, that energy, that love. And let's go to Kara. Fill Kara with that light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Kara just for existing. And fill her skin with that same light, that energy, that love. No matter what, love it all anyway. Every cell filled with that light, that energy. And now to anyone and everyone who's experienced abuse in their childhoods, fill those children with the same light, that energy, that love. Love them all anyway. And think of yourself a little later today and fill that version of you with that light, that energy, no matter what you do, no matter what you experience, love that version of you anyway. Good job. Now open your heart a little more and allow yourself to receive love. And feel the light, the energy, the love coming from me. Filling you from the tips of your toes to the top of your head and out to your fingertips, including all those who are not on camera. Filling you all with that same light, that energy, that love. Pure, unconditional love that you'll take with you throughout the day, throughout the rest of your day. Very good. And you can open your eyes if you haven't closed. All right, how was that for everybody? Any questions or comments? Good, very good. Any clarifications, questions, or comments before we go? All right. Well, so good, Carrie. Thank you. I'm glad it was good for you. Very good. Cheryl says, beautiful. Thank you. Very powerful. Thanks a million. You're very, very welcome. Very welcome. All right. So, of course, for the next 24 hours, same thing, practicing as much as you can. And to add a little bit to it, I want you to see if you can remember. You can write it down to remind yourself. Remember to remind yourself that no matter what happens, as you're practicing this, now that you've got yourself filled with love, even when you're not filled with love, so even when you fall off the bicycle a bit, you cannot create anything bad for yourself as long as you don't fight with the thing. So don't flail in the water, just coast, surf until whatever turmoil is over. Okay, so try doing that for this next 24 hours, reminding yourself If it looks bad, it looks bad. That's fine, but I'm not going to engage with it. I'm not going to arm wrestle with it. It cannot turn out to be bad. It has to turn out to be either good or nothing to worry about, no matter how convincing it may seem. All right. Katrina says, I feel so blessed and so loved. Very good. And the same to you, my sweetheart. And you are loved very much. And you do look more and more gorgeous every day. Today you look like a movie star. You really do. I'm seeing I'm seeing your face changing. If you go back and watch previous episodes, I bet you'll notice it yourself. All right, everyone. So lots of love to all of you. Very powerful, bathed in purple. Good, good, good. Yes, purple's a good color. All right. Oh, lots of love to all of you. Look after yourselves. I see you tomorrow. Bye.